Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Fallout. What if you're here? Today we're gonna be doing. I think it's probably part 5 to what if Deku was the reincarnation of Naruto. What if Deku was the reincarnation of Naruto? Okay, yeah. Well, you already got your intro. So anyway, where we last left off was the the Heroes versus Villains exam. Uh, I'm not gonna recap. If you guys know, then you guys know. If not, then you gotta learn up a little bit of history, and you can find that there. I know you can do it. I'll give you a thumbs up, and yeah. Anyway, so let's see. I wanted to say this. What's called? I thought about Deku and X2 for a lot, but hold on, how was I gonna say this? I know about the whole Deku X2 thing, and even though I like it, I'm gonna see if I can do different ones, because I think somebody told me already about Deku and Sue always having to be like always together. It's like, you're right. Okay, let's not have those two together on everyone. So on everything. So this is gonna be like a Deku X female Todoroki. So I think we could do that, right? Yeah. Okay. Good. Uh. So it's let's see. The group hold on. Class 1A goes into the bus, and this time it's Sue and Deku and Todoroki sitting on the same, what's it called? Same freaking sitting on the same seat. I know what you guys may be thinking. It's kind of impossible for three people to sit on a seat on a bus, but I remembered when I went to school, three fat people. No offense to the people who have a bit of chub. I'm just saying, three heavy guys. Está loco, three heavy guys. It was fat people, all right. Three fat people. What's it called? We're sitting together because they were friends, and that always it didn't weird me out. It just it surprised me. Like, that's how big the bus seats were for us. So I'm thinking this is like the same thing, and plus they're smaller and all that stuff. And these dudes were like 7 feet tall. Okay. Two of them were 6 foot, and one of them was like probably 5'1". I don't really know, but that's not what we're here to talk about. It's three of them on the bus, sitting on the same seat, and Bakugo and Ida aren't friends, but they're mostly allies into taking down Deku. Bakugo sees him as a villain, and what's called Ida sees him as somebody who has to be taught a lesson. Let's see. And if I remember this right, Deku beat the crap out of him. So yeah, pretty much there we go. Oh man, let me see if I can turn this down. Okay. Wonderbra. Oh, and yeah, Deku is going to turn to the Five Tails. And no, it's not Kohuko. Did I say that right? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's not that dude. You'll see in a couple of minutes. So, what's called Sue talks to him about what's called how his quote unquote quirk is doing, and Todoroki is kind of taking an interest about the whole freaking Deku having a weird quirk. Nobody understands it. So they talk for a while, and let's just say she gets to the point of interested where she talks to him about what the quirk does. And if I didn't say this already, Todoroki's taking a liking into him, even though he uses fire. What's called? He uses fire. The fact that he can also use ice, probably he can use ice. I don't know. I mean, it's wind and water, so yeah. Anyway, so she talks to him a little bit about what his quirk does, just asking him, "Oh, hey, Deku, what is your quirk exactly? Because you're telling me that you can turn into a whatever fox thing, but then what's called Bakugo has talked about your quirk being demonic, or you being a villain because of that quirk. Can you like tell us something like that?" I don't know if she say that much, but you know, you get the picture here. So Deku says, "All right," and Kuruma's thinking to himself, "All right, so we're in a bus," because he knows what buses are. It's like, you know, I don't know. Inko's talked to him. He's learned a lot of history. Yeah. So anyway, he says he's just thinking to himself, "Okay, I need to go into my small form," and yeah, he does. What's it called? I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, so so Kuruma comes out of his stomach, no homo, and yeah, that's how it's. I don't really know what on this whole point right here. He comes out, he's small, and Todoroki sees just like this little like fox that has 9 tails and that's kind of poofy, has a lot of fluff, has a lot of floof, yeah, floof. Has floof. She's kind of interested in it. She sees how freaking like small it is, and she just what's called without thinking, without like without subconsciously or whatever, without thinking and all that stuff, she just picks him up. And Kuruma's all like, I'm kind of getting used to this, you know, women just picking me up. Yeah, so anyway, she sees him and she says, "Hello, I'm Todoroki." Or should Todoroki's name be Shoto or Shota? That doesn't really matter. It's just a different vowel. So that's what happens, and Kuruma talks to him and tells her about what she is. And then she gives him like a brief, like, no, wait, he gives her a brief, explanation of what he is without having to tell her that he was known as an ancient demon for so long. Okay, yeah, okay, good. Anyway, so that's what happens. She holds on to him for a while, and you know what? I'm gonna say this, even though if I didn't say this already, I'm gonna say it now. If Deku and freaking the QB aren't always together, they can still sense each other, so they can probably be from, let's see, they could probably be a mile apart, and they'll sense each other. They won't die. Like, Deku won't die because, you know, the old sage, or Hagoromo, that's what you guys like to call them. He gave him that power, or at least some kind of power. Oh, by the way, I'm probably gonna do some new what ifs, and I know one of them's gonna involve the Sharingan. So, oh yeah, okay. Before we like go any further, tell me what kind of Sharingan abilities he will have, and if you want him to have the blood of an Uchiha, or what's called either a pure-blooded Uchiha, because they can use the internal Mangekyo Sharingan without being blind. I read that up somewhere. Don't quote me on this. It's just something. What's called what abilities he will have. And don't try to give him ultimate freaking powers, because I won't remember all of that. All right, I'm just gonna tell you this right now. I'm not gonna remember a lot of it. If you guys give me some of them, I'll use some of them. Probably give me something I can work with here, people. All right. You give me some wood, I'll give you a house. You know what I'm saying? You give me some water, I'll make you a soda. Okay, that one sucked, but you get the concept. You know, give me some PB&J and some bread, and I'll make you a sandwich. Anyway, so they get off the bus, and Deku and Kurama sense something. And Deku sends out a clone to go outside. No, he sends out a clone to go inside, actually. And just what is that? Oh man, I forgot what that was called. I forgot. It was the one where people flash step or something like that, or quick step. What's called Deku's clone moved really fast, and what's called Deku can see. Well, no, he can't see, but he knows that something's wrong, but he can't put his finger on it yet, because he can sense somebody's I guess chakra, even though it's technically not Here's the thing: people have chakra in them. All right, every single life form does, but not everyone can actually just freaking use Rasengans and shadow clones. They can only use a little bit of stuff. So he senses just only one, which is Kurogiri's. And what's called one of the Deku clones is just running around searching for this person, because it's all around the freaking place, because he's a freaking what is it called? He can teleport people, so it's not very easy for him to just freaking sense him, but he knows that somebody is there. All right, we'll just say that. And Deku and freaking Kurama can sense him, but they're not saying nothing yet. They don't want to just freaking, say oh, there's a lot of villains, and all the villains know, and then they're gonna run at them, freaking ambushing them. Something like that will happen. All right. So 13, which I like I said before, if I didn't say it to you guys, I do not know what gender 13 is. It sounds like a girl, but then it looks like a boy. So yeah, you guys got me on that. So Deku just starts making shadow clones, and all the shadow clones are not making a wall, but they're surrounding the freaking surrounding the students. And Kurogiri sees this, and he just teleports all the villains all around the freaking he starts teleporting the villains into there. And Deku summons a lot of clones, and then running towards them, summoning lightning clones, freaking fire clones, explosion clones. And he has mostly infinite chakra. So yeah, a lot of them are gonna be blasted away, electrocuted, probably wet. No, yeah, because it's also water clones, wood clones. I didn't say wood clones. We're making that a thing now. So yeah, a lot of clones, probably up to 50. They're already being made. Just running around to the villains. And what's called Shigaraki comes in. And Kurogiri's trying to like teleport, but there's also the freaking clones just running to him. So it's like an all-out war right now. And oh man, what's his name? Eraserhead. He just runs towards everybody. And Deku says, everybody, what's it called? I know some of you guys don't want to fight, so you guys aren't going to fight if you don't want to, but the guys, the people who want to help me out, what's it called? Just follow me. And Bakugo just, lays off, or not lays off. He yells, talking about, I'm not going to follow nobody, blasting off one direction. And, Kirishima just look at him, so manly, yeah. I think Kirishima, this is not canon, but you know what? I'm just going to say it. Kirishima has like the freaking, let's just say that Kirishima's soul is that of Rock Lee's. I understand that you guys I understand you guys probably think that's dumb. But if you guys think about it, it's like he has that like fire of youth. Every time like saying everything's so manly. And then you have Lee from Naruto saying like he'll give it his best, he'll give it his all. And then it's like Lee and Guy Sensei just doing everything, So yeah, let's just say that right there. Even though he doesn't know it, it's Rock Lee's soul. I'm making it canon. I understand what I said in the beginning of in my first what if, or my first what if Naruto thing. I don't care. I like doing this kind of stuff. So anyway, Deku runs, and there's he does tell freaking one of his clones, this time not freaking Ida. So the heroes are gonna come early because he's gonna use the flash step or whatever technique he uses. And what else am I gonna say? Kurogiri has teleported some of them, like probably the ones that didn't want to fight in the first place. And Deku sees this and he starts panicking, but he sends some of his clones to go towards like the I don't know what it was called, like the wreck sites and all that. And he's kind of getting mad at the fact that Kurogiri just did that. So he charges at Kurogiri and tries to punch him, but instead of punching him, he actually gets his hand gets grabbed by freaking Shigaraki, and he starts to decay his arm, or at least not, was it decay or disintegrate? Because they're both kind of the same. No, they're not the same. Yeah, oh man, you know what? It's like he has decay, but it's disintegrate, so it's kind of like the same thing. So he starts to decay / disintegrate his arm, and a lot of a lot of his skin's like freaking, I don't know what the word is, probably cracking. Like his arm is like cracking, so it's like bleeding and all that stuff. And what's called Deku switches out with one of his clones, which was the lightning clone, and Shigaraki gets shocked. So yeah, Deku is trying to go heal himself. And if I didn't mention this before, Sue knows about Sage Mode, but she's not as strong as freaking Deku with it. So she's taking out like villains one at a time. And Deku is still trying to like heal his arm, although it's kind of hard to heal his arm when his arm is in constant like mm, you know when when you're in like to the point of pain when you just probably stub your toe or stub like your like the small toe, and you just feel that shock of pain already, and it's numb and you can't feel nothing for a bit. It's kind of like that with his arm, but it's like 100 times worse. So even when he's trying to like concentrate, it's pretty much not doing anything. So right now he's just trying to like calm himself down. One of the villains with probably let's say a freaking what was that one villain? I think he had like a gunshot quirk, or where bullets come out of his fingers, and he shot some at freaking Deku, and it probably, let's say it hits the side of his ribs, and Deku now feels like freaking pain, or not pain. Well, he feels pain, but he's feeling like that. How do you say it? He's more damaged, so it's like it's harder for him to concentrate. So now he's thinking about like running like somewhere, and a lot of the clones are like are dying off because the Nomu's already there. The Nomu's there, and the freaking what's his name? And if Aizawa gets punched in the freaking let's say in the stomach, and he flew to the other side of the other side of the wall, and he hits it. Yeah, he just hits it. It's pretty much it. So he's like, what's called bleeding inside. He's bleeding from the inside / knocked out, and his stomach tissues are torn. Which, if you guys never knew, the inside of your stomach, sometimes the muscles can tear if somebody like hits you very hard. Sometimes it can tear, and that causes a lot of pain. You can't move. You'll be like it'll be hard for you to like walk without even like feeling anything, or you're in constant pain like to the highest level, and it's still there no matter what. It's inside of your body, not on the outside. So it's like you can't pretty much do nothing. That's the worst part of it. So he's knocked out, and Deku is getting more mad, and you can see his whiskers. I didn't say that, he already has whiskers. He has his whiskers, and it's becoming much more defiant. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's becoming much more defiant. He has already 2 tails, and a lot of the people can see this, like the heroes and the villains. Well, not the heroes, the students and the villains can see this already. And Shigaraki's looking at this, seeing like this bloodlust coming out of him, because he's like in pain. Not only is he in pain, not only is he not only is he in pain, not only is he in a lot of stress, not only is he scared of the fact that some of the people might die, but now these kids, his friends are about to like die / get massacred by this huge thing that Shigaraki says is the key to being All Might. And now Deku has nothing like else to do right now besides try to fend them off. And he's using like water bullets, wind bullets, and it's damaging a lot of the villains, or at least it's hurting them, but it's not as strong as it is, because he can't actually like freaking, He pretty much can't just like go all the way and just like use like a water bullet and like one of them is already like flying away. No, these like the water bullets are much more just like hitting them. Like if somebody threw a bucket of water in your face, it's kind of like that. All it's just doing is just like getting them wet and just distracting them. The wind bullets are nothing more than just a gust of air. Deku isn't what's called. Deku doesn't know what to do at this point. And Kurama is there, but he can't get to Naruto without transforming. And a lot of the students right there, well, a lot of the students can't like, how do I say it? He doesn't want to step on any of the students. And Deku's already shot in the freaking gut. And it's, he's already decayed in one of his arms. And the Nomu's charging around a lot of people. And he sees that Momo and Jiro right there. And Deku's saying what's gonna happen. And Deku just runs and just gets hit. Well, he runs and he jumps in front of them with what is it called? Not a shuriken, a kunai. He has a kunai with him because he's a ninja. He's right there, grabbing onto the freaking kunai with his life, probably about to end. And he's well, let's just say he's already smashed in the freaking face. And Deku can't see a thing. Yes, people, he's dead. Now, he's not dead yet. Or he's not going to die, at least. But he's to the point where he's not close enough to see Hagoromo in the afterlife. But he's close enough, or it's like, it's to the point where all you just need to do is open the door, and you can go to the other side. But he's not there yet, because now he's going to use the untapped potential of the, of the hatred from the Nine Tails. Because even though the Nine Tails wasn't like killing people anymore, or wasn't evil or something like that, he still has that hatred that was in him, and all he sees is just red. And now he's turning into 3. But even 3 isn't going anywhere. Then he becomes the 4 Tails, which now his body is red, like bloodshot red. And I understand what you guys are saying. Then that means he should have lost consciousness. On the contrary, he can't lose consciousness of himself because he's already done that before. You see, he's already become the 1 Tails, the 2 Tails, the 3 Tails, and the 4 Tails a couple of times before with his training. Because he just couldn't go like KCM 1, KCM 2. He had to learn all this stuff beforehand. This wasn't just like a freaking Super Saiyan thing. He had to learn Kaioken as well. So he's never been into the 5 Tail thing, because after that, for some reason in the anime, they never actually showed us the 5 Tails. They just showed us the 6 and 7 ones. And yeah, that's what happens. He becomes the 5 Tails now. And now he's completely lost it, because he hasn't mastered that. That was probably like something he should have done, but you know what? a lot of his wounds are healed. You know, all of his wounds are healed. But he still feels like anger and hatred. And he can actually remember a bit more of his past. What he remembers was when Hinata freaking, what was it called? When Hinata got like freaking stabbed with by pain. Yeah, he's seen that, but he's also seen a lot of other stuff. Mainly well, not his oh yeah, his father, like his first father, Minato. No wait, he's the freaking. He saw his dad, one of his dads, Minato. And he saw his mom. At that point, I forgot what his name was again. Jeez. She saw her. Kushina. Please say it's Kushina. Yeah, it's Kushina. Please say it's Kushina. He's seen them, but he's just mainly seen like the anger and the hatred that he has for this thing that isn't even talking, the thing that looks like a bird. And that was his final moments of sanity. Now, in the real world, because it's in his mind right now. Right now, that part is in his mind. All of his wounds are healed, but he hasn't woken up yet. All you just see is a deku that's face down on the ground in a crater. Because he punched him, not where Aizawa's at, but let's just say into one of the buildings. Let's say that the accident site where a lot of the city buildings are at. He got punched into there. And Todoroki sees this, and she kind of gets mad. And Kurama is right there, like, seeing... what's it called? Let's see. Kurama sees what she's trying to do, and he tries to help her out. But the only thing he can actually do is throw a bit of fireballs at people. Because he cannot just freaking throw, like, a hidden... what's called mystical dragon fireball. Not only is it gonna kill Todoroki, but most of the people around there in a 15 what's called yard radius. Let's say that 15-meter radius. So he's just throwing little fireballs, but they're still effective though. A lot of people can feel the heat, and a lot of them are like getting their skin like not burned, but a little charred. Because this is still like the Nine Tails. This is still the Nine Tails people. Let's not get that twisted. You know what? I never understood why. But if Naruto can use the Nine Tails chakra, shouldn't he have learned some fireball techniques or fire style techniques? Because most of the time what everybody sees in Naruto is just a freaking Kurama in the past just using like a fire breath. So he should have used something like that, but no, I don't understand why nobody's ever like said anything about that. But anyway, Todoroki is ice like freezing people up. Hold on. Todoroki's like freezing people up. Kurama's like there helping her. And he's also lending a bit of chakra to her. Because it's like, I don't know how to say this. He can pass on chakra still. But since she's not using actual like chakra techniques that consume chakra, it's mainly because of her stamina and her strength. So she's actually like still like fighting through this, trying to get to Deku. But this is when it all changed. Everybody stands still, even the Nomu, for a good 15 seconds after they hear a blood-curdling wail. I can actually say that. A blood-curdling wail, but for some reason I can't name Naruto's mom. Okay. I'm one of the most retarded people out there, people. I gave myself a round of applause. A blood-curdling wail. And all you see is Deku standing up, looking around. And he remembers each one by face and name of his classmates. Because he still what's called, he still can remember them, but it's not like if any of them tries to if any of them tries to touch him or something like that, he's gonna like look at them and like probably hit them or attack them due to like his, I can't say if like how do I say this, it's not out of fear, but it's out of like animal instincts, because it's still a fox. And the Nomu snaps out of it beforehand, out of everybody, and runs to this person because he knows it's a danger to Shigaraki. And Deku gets punched. Probably on the other side of the building. But what was gonna happen? Oh, Shigaraki laughs and says, "Even with your transformation, kid." Or no, I don't know, it wouldn't be like that. No, he would say probably, "I don't know who you are, but even if you did scream, my Nomu's going to kill you." And that's when Shigaraki notices the Nomu's arm. A lot of his skin is burnt. It looks like it's torn away, and it has like claw marks on him. It looks like he's been clawed by an animal. His fingers look like they've been like shredded. Like somebody was gnawing on his hands. And it looks like it's been burning. Because it looks like somebody actually used a fire quirk on him. And all you see is a freaking Nomu just punched now onto the other side of the building. Even though the Nomu can still like withstand it, the fact that the punch is still, it's basically Deku's like freaking I know the fact that when he was on his like four tails mode, he had when the snakes tried to attack him, they mostly all melted. But since this is like a much more advanced creature, all it's doing is burning him. So instead of melting him, it's mostly just burning him alive. So the fire is on him. Let's see. And it's also like shredding his like whole freaking it's like scratch marks on him, on his stomach, because he got punched in the stomach. Just gonna say that. And all you just see is Deku in his five tails mode, looking around. But he's not saying a word. He's not even yelling at this point. he sees all the villains, and he sees the students as well, and he's running towards the villain side, and he's attacking all of them. And this is much more worse because the villains, let's say some have regeneration, and some of them can't. What's called can take fire and can like shoot fire, but the people who have regeneration, it's not it's gonna take like hours upon hours. It's gonna like take days for them to like fully heal. And for the people who got punched that had fire quirks, they never felt something so hot. The people now are a lot of the villains are running away, and what was his name? What was it called? Oh yeah. So one of the Deku's already made it there and said something about the freaking villains. But before that happened, the Deku clone just vanished. And a lot of the heroes are rushing, even though they don't know why, but Deku, the clone just said villains. And that was it, because if the Ninetales can't, if the clones can't take, what was I gonna say? The clones can't handle, like a dark version of the Ninetales chakra. They all disperse because it's no longer blue chakra, it's just red chakra. So all you just see is Deku in his Five Tails mode just running around and just beating people up. Not beating people up, he's more like just running around and scratching them, punching a lot of them, with a lot of full force too. So a lot of them are like injured, some of them have broken bones already, just mangled, but not dead. Probably not yet, at least. And yeah, that's pretty much it right there. All the students are running, like probably trying to stay back. And even Sue's like, even she knows that she can't stop them. But Deku is just destroying a lot of stuff. And the Nomu gets up again. And now that it knows how strong Deku is, or something like that, because the first time he got him by freaking what's it called? By surprise. Now that Deku and the freaking Nomu are fighting, it's still a one-sided battle because the Nomu's punching five-tailed Deku, and Deku like can still feel it, but it's still like just punching him around, and he's grabbing him with his chakra claws and just squeezing him and throwing him. And after the Nomu gets up, it's just regenerated because it lost his arm, it lost his legs. I think I think regenerating for that is much more easier. But the Deku, the Five Tails is still just running at him, punching him, scratching him, biting him. And Shigaraki and Kurogiri already gone. because they don't want to like they don't want to be a part of this, because all you just if you get close to them, even what's called even by like 10 feet, you can feel a lot of burning. You can feel a lot of fire or heat just coming off of the freaking five tails, and you can what's called a lot of air pressure coming from the Nomu. So like both of those combined, like it's like making mini tornadoes, but just little bits, not like freaking. I don't know what big tornadoes were called back then, but still, it's still like it's an even fight in such ways until the what's called deku. Well, the five tails deku what's called like runs away. Not runs away, but he's like doing some weird backflip, whatever. And Kurama is seeing this, and he's trying to get his chance, but he sees what's happening, and he's not fast enough to see to help. Not to help. He's not fast enough to actually to stop Deku, because what Deku does is make a tail beast bomb, and it's much more bigger. Not freaking not in like the Shippuden, like in probably, let's just say like when Deku turned into the four tails at first. Let's say it's 3 times bigger, and and he shoots it at the freaking Nomu, and all you see is just a flash of white light, and you see only the Nomu, not even his freaking not even half of his body. All you just see is his feet, and only his feet. And All Might and the others arrive, and the heroes try to help out, and all you see is a massacre of bodies, not even dead. They're not dead, all right? Probably like 3 of them are dead, all right? We don't know. It's kind of hard to like see after somebody using a tail beast bomb. But how do I say this? Oh, you do see half of the USJ. Well, like let's say 35% of the USJ just gone. And if you saw this, or what's called if you saw this in space, hold on, yeah, you could probably see this no, you can see this in space. Oh, that's what I was trying to say. That's how big it was. And that's all. The only thing that's there is the freaking Nomu's feet. He didn't get him all the way. But the Nomu actually can't regenerate, since, if I remember this correctly, the brain. The brain is the weakness of it. So, yeah, that's what happens. And now we cut to Todoroki and Kurama. Kurama and Todoroki run towards Deku. All the students are out already, even Froppy. And Bakugo isn't. No. Bakugo is not even trying to like run towards him, try to like save the day. No, he's already saw an explosion that was much more powerful than his. It's like his will just gave up to fight him. That's how potent, that's how powerful this was. Deku has beaten him mentally, physically, spiritually. And now he's also beaten him. How would I say this? He's beaten him in a way that he knows that he probably can never be the number one hero. So, yeah. Anyway, Todoroki, Kurama run up to him. And even though they're not trying to attack him, Todoroki makes an ice wall. And even when she made this ice wall, it's not working at all. She's already, was not she, Deku was called, already clawed his way out of there. And he grabs Todoroki by her arms. Now Todoroki was called her Todoroki's arms are black because it's been charred, or not charred, but it's been to the point of it's becoming black. And yeah, she's gonna kind of look like Davi in a sense. But Kurama runs and what's called headbutts Deku's stomach, and he gets inside. Because that's, I forgot to say, that's the one thing that would happen if Deku doesn't, if Kurama doesn't have Deku on check with the Nine Tails power, and it's only on like his evil chakra, not evil, his his demon chakra, then Deku can turn into the Nine Tails. Or not to the Nine Tails. He can turn into like the dark version of KCM or whatever, however you say it. And what's called Todoroki, she isn't crying because of the pain, because she's already felt pain beyond this, or at least enough to not let it bother her. But she's crying because Deku is literally in pain. She's feeling the pain plus seeing Deku in pain, because Deku is now like reverting back, and he's not lost consciousness, but he's also not very like strong right now. The heroes are right there, just shocked. Well, not the heroes. Let's just say freaking some of the heroes helped out Aizawa, and some of them helped out the children. A lot of them probably, what's called, knew that they couldn't beat this dude. So they're letting like All Might try to handle this. And All Might sees what's happening. And he also sees a Racerhead. So he's grabbing him and taking him to a freaking cement house. And Deku sees what he's done. And all he can just do is cry and say he's sorry. And Kurama is right there, now inside of him, saying, we know this isn't your fault, and all that. Because it's mostly just ended already. It's ended. And he feels bad right now. He's just feeling bad. So 2 hours later, both Todoroki and Deku are in the hospital. And Deku is healing Todoroki, but her arms aren't the same as they were. She now has black arms. Because Deku was grabbing her with a freaking, how would I say this? he grabbed her using those two hands that pop out. I forgot. He used like two like big hands and grabbed Todoroki's arms. And Kurama is seeing what he can do, even amplifying Deku's chakra to the max. Her arms can't be actually put back since it was Deku's. It was the evil part. It was the demonic part of the Nine Tails chakra that did actually all this. So this is not like something that could happen. But Deku is being talked. Deku did talk to the cops because Todoroki kind of fainted out of the. Todoroki did faint after taking that much damage, and she was tired and all that stuff. So yeah, Deku talks to the cops. They find out that it was mostly the villains, because the villains did. Some of the villains died, but they knew it was out of self-defense. And there was a hero there that was going to die, so they knew what was happening. So, but the credit does go to All Might. No, it actually doesn't go to All Might at all. It can't go to All Might because All Might's the one who. How do I say this? All Might, if they give it to All Might, what's called, people will know that a couple of people died. So they're gonna say it was that whatever thing that the people said it was, calling it a Nomu. So yeah, that's what happens. I understand if I sucked at talking about this what if. This is something that I have to work on. But what I can say, a lot of the students are going to probably see Deku differently in a way. Even though they're grateful that they saved him. Even Momo and Jiro. Momo and Jiro weren't probably thinking of him as like destructive, because he did, like, in the very end sacrifice himself, literally sacrifice mostly his whole life, most of it, not all of it. Still lived, yeah, still lived. A lot of the kids don't know what to do because they see now Deku as kind of like a villain, but they still saved him. Deku still saved him. No, Deku still saved them. So it's kind of like it's gonna be awkward for a couple of weeks. And yeah, so now this is what's going to happen. Either, how would I say this? Because it's already the end. And do you want there to be a contest between, like, a contest between Momo, Jiro, and Todoroki? Do you want all of them to date, or do you want two to date, or just one of them to date? It doesn't really matter. Like, just tell me, all right? I would like to see how this all plays out. But I also said I was gonna do probably two new ones, which is probably what if Deku had the Sharingan, or hold on, it's not gonna be art. I'm also gonna do what if Deku can turn to Super Saiyan 4. You guys heard me right, 4. But I also gotta see who did the Super Saiyan, if anybody has done Super Saiyan 4 already. Because I don't want to be like saying Or I don't want people to say, "Oh, you copied this dude." No, 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 no. I'm gonna search up if anybody's done that yet. Nobody's done that yet. I still got a shot. All right. And if you didn't like this what if, yeah, I wasn't mostly planning around this time, or I was actually it was all just coming up to my head. But I think it did. I think this one was much more mellow. I didn't actually like kept doing a lot of I don't know. I think I liked this one because it showed much more of Deku and showing his past and all that stuff. I think I like the fact that he got to remember some of his past. And I also like the fact that now this is Todoroki and Deku now have like this much more stronger bond in a way, where they're much more closer. She isn't mad at him at all. She isn't mad at it. She isn't mad at him at all for what she done to him. But she's kind of upset at the fact that she couldn't help. She couldn't like stop him. She's mad at the fact she couldn't stop him. So yeah, pretty much it. This is going to change the dynamics between Momo, Jiro, and Deku as well, because he did technically just run up and literally got punched almost to death by a Nomu, just trying to protect them. So this is much more of a weird thing. Some of the kids did get hurt, like freaking Shuso, freaking Duplo arms. Let's see, Koda kind of got like probably bruises on him. Kaminari just got into his whole retard mode, like yeah, you know. Mineta, let's see. I don't think Mineta got her in this one. Which is actually kind of funny in a way. Mineta was just like running around, just like, you know what Mineta is? If any of you guys watch Dragon Ball Z, he's like Yaojirobe, where he doesn't actually die in Super. He just got hit and just like faked his death. So yeah, I'm gonna do what if Deku was Super Saiyan 4. I'm gonna check. People tell me, you copied this person. I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that stuff. Or probably another one. Let's see. What if Naruto's? I'm gonna do that. It's gonna be kind of hard to do what if Naruto, but also at the same time kind of easy. Because I watched Naruto a lot as a kid. Or at least probably Naruto, what's called Naruto and not Naruto Shippuden. It's still kind of hard for me to concentrate on all that because it's like it's really all good. And probably I'm gonna do Dragon Ball Z what ifs as well. Yeah, it's gonna be much more like there's gonna be much more opportunities here. But I know there's one that I wanted to do, and I am gonna do it. I did forget what right now it is. What if Deku had an RPG quirk? Or what if Deku had RPG powers? And the one I'm gonna do is actually something I don't know if it's on there, if anybody's done it yet, but I wanted to do it because I played the game for a long time. Or I played it. I keep playing it every day. It's gonna be Skyrim. If none of you guys know that, Skyrim is like a freaking role-playing game. You have to design your character. You go a lot around places. So yeah, he's gonna learn that. No, he's going to have that, and I'm gonna do that. All right. So you know what? I'm going to do the next one in a couple of minutes. Bye.